We're continuing with the Best of Cat verbal series by IMS, and today we're going to be solving an odd sentence question from CAT 2019. Again, from CAT 2019, a lot of students started feeling that all of a sudden verbal has become challenging. So we're deliberately taking up questions which have an easy solve. At this point, please look at the question on your own and try to come up with a solution. In case you're not able to figure out what question type it is, well, this question has many names. Some people call it the odd sentence question, some people call it incorrect sentence in context, and in some cases also the odd parajumble.
If you like our content and want to experience the IMS pedagogy, you can join the IMS Zero Fee Prep programs that will give you access to concept videos, sectionals, full-length tests and more for free. You may click on the I button or on the link in the description box below to access the same. Happy learning!
We're going to use the labeling strategy to solve this particular question. Let's get started. Now the first statement here says, Socrates told us that the unexamined life is not worth living. We're talking about Socrates, and he says that if you want to become wise, you need to know yourself. So, simplified version, Socrates said we should know ourselves. The second statement does not talk about Socrates. The second statement talks about Julius Caesar. So a lot of times you'll get a feeling that two sentences are completely disconnected from each other. Wait and watch and keep simplifying. It suggests that you should adopt an ancient rhetorical method favored by the likes of Julius Caesar known as Iliism. What is that method? It involves talking about yourself in the third person. So what do we really say here? We say that Julius Caesar favored Iliism, which is talking about oneself in the third person. And that's it. Let's continue. This one, again, is very different from the rest of the statements. It talks about rumination, and it specifically focuses on the fact that rumination has some disadvantages. So, downside of rumination is what we're talking about here. The fourth one, thankfully, still talks about rumination. Again, it's trying to tell us that simple rumination is not the way to achieve self-realization. So again, we're kind of talking about the fact that simple rumination is not very helpful. At this point, statement 1 and 2 do not really seem to be connected. Statement 3 and 4 do seem to be connected. But we're not really going to start forming a sequence yet. Let's look at our last statement. The idea is that this small change in perspective can clear your emotional fog, allowing you to see past your biases. Again, the simplified version is, change in perspective might bring about some degree of clarity. How do we connect these statements at all? And this is why this question appears very difficult to people. If I have to do it very simply, I would be able to see that 3 and 4 talk about rumination, and they both talk about the downside of rumination. I would also be able to connect 2 and 5 here. So how do I connect them? 2 talks about talking about yourself in the third person. 5 talks about change of perspective. So perhaps 2 and 5 can be linked. What is the theme then? The theme clearly is the downside of rumination / achieving mental clarity. If this is my theme, then I would be able to see that there's only one statement that does not connect to any of them. And that would be statement 1. It does not talk about achieving mental clarity. It does not talk about rumination. It talks about a completely different topic altogether. And therefore, statement 1 will have to be my answer. Not that difficult in the end.